We are back on Kind of Sound with friend of the show, Cheryl from 5D Theatre. Cheryl, how are you?
I'm amazing. Yeah, I say amazing because I've just had a shift of energy in one day of being like, oh, totally overwhelmed to actually life is amazing
Yeah,
in today. So,
yeah,
yeah, I'm amazing.
that's absolutely beautiful. Well, look, if you're new to our chats, because we've done several on Kind of Sound, Cheryl runs 5D Theatre, and it's a beautiful message, sharing stories that have the capacity to open minds, awaken consciousness, and activate souls. And that's really why you are such a friend of Kind of Sound, because such a great alignment. So I wanted to have a show with you, Cheryl, and a sort of a catch up, really, and a sort of like, what are we up to, but
Yeah.
also what are the plans, right?
Yes, love
So
that.
just tell us what you've been up to just this past weekend.
Yeah. So I hosted my first big community theatre event called Speak Low, Rise High. And it was developed from speaking to, I'm from Luton, I'm Luton born and bred, and I interviewed a lot of the Luton community. Now, I feel like there's a lots of different things I want to change about theatre, but there's quite a few voices that get lost in our theatre landscape currently. One, anyone over sort of 40 plus that apparently their voice isn't as interesting. And then two, working class voices. So, because of the funding issues in the current paradigm, a lot of working class stories don't get told, or they get told in a very generic, oh, this is a working class story way. So, I got the gift of being funded by Revolut and Arts, who are an amazing company that try and bring about social change and Luton voices to the forefront and to commission to champion working class voices. And for those that don't know, Luton's a very working class town. It's where, that's why I got this ethos. And I also wrote my first play, Awaken, in partially written in Canting, which predates Cockney. And this is a lost language,
Right,
that people don't know Canting. And
right.
it was basically made by the people of London to kind of say the upper classes can't understand what we're saying. So it was a form of uprising, which is
Yeah,
what every language comes from the people to go, we have our own language, we have our own code. A lot of people think about, people higher up having their own little language and symbology, but no, actually, working class people have their own ways of getting past systems and talking to each other and creating community. So this Friday, I did that where I was celebrating Luton stories, celebrating the canting that's in my play, and celebrating working class culture. And it was, yeah, a beautiful event and taught me a lot about what theatre can be and whether for the past few years I've thought very much about community and what people want more than what I want as an
yeah, yeah, yeah,
artist.
yeah, yeah,
And what paradigm are we in? And how can we work with, less being like, because I think with the fall of places like Hollywood, which systems are crumbling all around us, what's the solution? What's in place of it? Theatre's the thing that I can offer. And it was like, so do people want to watch a performance or do they want to be part of it? And how do we make that energy exchange? And so this was my first foray into what could theatre look like? It was a big undertaking, but it was lovely because it was full on in it with a big, lovely, gorgeous memory tree afterwards where people put their own stories on. And so I'm still integrating it all, but I learned a bit about like, what do I want theatre to do? How am I going to make this change? And what does community want? And so, yeah, I'm still letting all of that digest because I have another event coming up. But yeah, it was a wonderful experience, and to celebrate language in that way felt gorgeous. As you know of me, I'm forefront with the spirituality of everything. And but I come from working class roots. Now I know we're no label at all, but it was lovely to champion a lost voice in our history, and I think working class is one of them. So
yeah. Because the theatre it's sort of the lovies, isn't it? When I think of the theatre, I think of, the Royal Shakespeare Company and, you trained at RADA and all of these sort of, um, the elite in a
the
sense. I mean, even to
institutions that
go,
we,
even to
yeah,
go to the theatre, we went to see Phantom of the Opera, and it was, I don't know, it's like 86 quid a ticket or something. I mean, it was great. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but it can, some of these things can be. So I'm inquisitive when you ask there, what do people want? Do they want to be a spectator or participant? I mean, what are you feeling about that question?
Yeah, what I felt, see, and this is a particular passion of mine. When I go and see theatre, I tend to go and see off West End, which means not your big shows. I tend to
Mhm.
see grassroots. That's what excites me. I want a
Yep,
story.
yep,
And what I got was that people want their own voices to be heard, whether
yep,
that be that they're reflected in the piece and they see themselves in it and go, oh, I identify with that person, which is why I started 5D theatre because I didn't think that spiritual stories were being told. I
yep.
didn't recognize myself in stage. Like, where's people that are interested in soul and enlightenment of humanity and the truth?
Mhm.
I didn't see it.
No,
Then more than that, I think people are going, I also want to express my feelings about what I've just seen. So I
yeah,
really like going to see Q&As with the people that have created the work. I want to know what's behind it, but I also want to tell you what landed in me and let that
yeah,
shape the work. And that's what I'm getting a sense of that we're in a time now. I don't think we need these institutions telling us what to think or what to see. I think we need to be in this collaboration with the audiences that come and the people that are there, what I always saw as an energetic exchange, but
yep,
even further, that actually we're creating this work together because without no audience, there is no theatre.
yeah, yeah,
They're becoming more important. And I think the old paradigm is like becoming. Now, I know there's a lot of wonderful West End mainstream theatre. Yes, there's a place for that. But then there's also a place for this kind of community and a push to go, well, if we are tired of the current media industry. What else have we got to offer? What more stories? And
mm,
it goes back to my slogan that I kind of want theatre to give us a soul activation. So
yeah,
how can I do that? And what I found with the feedback of people with working class stories, people were like, here's my story, or
yeah,
this people wanted to talk, they're still reaching out and connecting with me now. And that's theatre rather than I went to see a piece and now
mhm,
I'm off back in my own world. It's
yep,
like
yep.
there's more engagement somehow. So that's what's that's what it's sparking that's exciting me.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. I just as you're chatting there, just thinking about a few things and the difference between television, which we can split up that word there, television. They're telling us a vision, and they're
Yeah.
actually call it a television program. They're
Mm.
actually programming us with the vision they want to tell us. And I mean, I don't watch, I don't really watch TV. It's not a thing for me, but just
Yeah.
thinking about the two most popular television programs in the UK over the last whatever 30 years, I would say are Coronation Street and EastEnders,
Right.
which are largely about the lives of working class people. There's not really posh people in them or the elite in them. They're just sort of there's that. And also the difference between say television, which is there is no audience for these sort of shows. It's a studio. It was and then the difference between that and theatre where there is that live experience and that energetic interaction. And then as you're saying, the opportunity for people like with this memory tree or however it works, for people then to be able to sort of be part of it and express that and to make that for the people
Mm.
and with the people. I mean, it's so exciting. It almost feels like this birth of this kind of new thing. And as you're saying about certain things possibly on the decline, and we can look at Hollywood and some of the other institutions that seem to be on the decline, shall we say? I mean, God bless them all. Like God bless the Pope and God bless the royals and everyone. Right? Blessings to everyone.
Yeah, I hear you.
But are you feeling excited?
Yes, so I think that's what because sometimes you get so thick in there. I've been so busy
Yeah,
producing.
Yeah.
Getting, I do a lot of roles trying to start a company, and it's been like, this is going to be my focus. So I think I've been in it a bit to be in the hustle. And that's kind of why I said that I've been brought round to amazing because I originally, way before I had, well, in line with my own spiritual awakening, I was like, there's no decent roles out there for women. Let's start there. I was a
Right.
casting director and I had no roles to give women, certainly not if they hit middle age. It was like, no, 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 you
Sure.
basically, you're young or you're old
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
we're not interested. That's the industry that I was in casting. And so now, then I took, you can't keep complaining about a society. You have to do something about
Yeah.
it. You have
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
change you want to see, as you know well, I'm sure. And I just thought, well, okay, so I could write my own roles. So I've been, since I trained in acting, I've been writing my own roles in two different theatre companies since then. So I was always trying to be that change. But now what's happened later and coming back to Awaken, which has taken me 8 years to write and change and evolve, I've come back it today as an actor looking at it going, what a brilliant part for an actor. Thank you for writing that for me. The writer, the
Yeah.
separate
Yeah. Yeah.
person,
Yeah.
jumping it as an actor. But beyond what's on the page, which I love because of the language and everything and the storytelling, is also that I put a person, my play's about witch persecution in the 17th century, being persecuted for being a psychic medium, I'll add to that, and coming back in the modern day who works with spirits, and those that lifetime comes back to haunt them all. So it's like past life karma. What do we do with it? Which is soul life and karma excites me. And so there's an extra layer of why I'm so excited that 5D theatre exists because when I started out, I was like, where's the spiritual stories? Where's the spiritual theatre company? Where's someone talking
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
souls? And I was just reading about things in books or maybe fantasy movies. And so I'm really excited that I get to do this because that is my solution. When you look at bringing in the new age and what replaces systems that are crumbling,
Mhm.
we've got to bring in what really excites us.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, uh, yes, I have to take my busy head out of everything and remind myself to sit on a mat and go, oh my God, this is really magical. This is really
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
And I know that I'm not the only one that, we all turn off our TVs and stop watching things. And now, but I don't think we all don't miss culture. I think we
Yeah.
we love a good film, we love a good story.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so there's a hunger for it. And
Yeah.
once we've turned off that old and we thought, okay, you're programming me, I'm not having that, I'm sovereign. We
Yeah.
still want the old storytelling. We still want
Yeah.
to escape into the magic of it. So, and I know for me, I mourned that when I was like, oh my God, I'm being programmed by film, TV, this, that, and the other. And actually, I don't want that. It didn't make me stop wanting stories.
Yeah. For
It made me
sure.
want them just as much, but not, not old paradigm program. It made me want to be activated. So I'm so uh, honored that the divine works with me in this way because, yeah, I don't do it alone.
For
But
sure. And isn't
yeah,
it a wonderful time of year? I mean, just as we're as those of you listening won't be able to see this, of course, but those of you watching, I mean, I'm literally blinded by the light right now. It seems that little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter, but here
oh,
comes the sun. Here we go. We're in that in bulk energy now. We're recording this near the end of February 2026. Wow. Do you know, even saying that 2026, I remember when everyone was excited about the turn of the millennium, and then it was 2012 and what's going to be happening. So we got together with 100 people in London. We in this beautiful Unitarian church, and we sang all night. You know, we sang until the sunrise on 2012. Crikey! Oh, I still got a bit of a sore throat from all that singing for 16 hours, but there we go. But I tell you what, when people are doing performances, obviously they have done them in recent times in theatres, in buildings. But before that, long before that, people have been performing out in the land, in the
mm,
landscape, you know, taking the stories, or like the bards they were traveling, or you know, in all cultures it seems there's been this tradition of people who are sharing stories and
mm,
sharing songs and sharing these messages. And I also think that is sort of rising, and I know you're involved in a project in Luton. Maybe you can just tell people about the henge and the evolution of that.
Yeah, I mean, this is how the magic plays out that's way beyond me. Because when I first was sort of producing Awaken a couple of years ago, my co-producer Ellie said to me, "Where would you like it to go?" She said, "What about doing the ley line tour?" Now, people might not know that a lot of so-called witches got killed on the ley lines near the churches where the ley lines sit. So it felt to me like a big reclamation to claim back our lands. So I was like, oh yeah, I wonder what theatres are on ley lines. And then I started to do a lot of ley line work, a lot of healing, and went to sacred sites and sort of thought it was going in that direction. And then about a couple of years ago, I moved back to Luton for a bit. And I got called to Luton's got amazing ley lines. It's the Mary line crosses there, the one that goes through Bury, the Michael and Mary line. That's through the church where I performed on Friday. But they also have a really ancient site, older than Glastonbury, called Warlord's Bank. And it's a monumental, amazing site. I went to see it, heard a lot about it. And I kept going up to where Warlord's Bank is. And I was like, do I need to do some healing work? I found the ley lines, I put my hands on there. And I said to the ley lines, because I believe that to get out of the colonization wounds, we need to go and ask places, do you want my work here? Do
Sure,
you
sure,
welcome me? And
sure.
that's how we balance things out. And I kind of do that with theatres spiritually. Do you want my work here? Should I be on this land?
Mm.
And I asked the land, it was just like a ley line running through, do you want my theatre here? If you do, show me the way.
Yeah,
And if
yeah,
not,
yeah,
no. And within a couple of months, there was a henge built right beside where the ley line is, called Luton Henge. And so this was a chalk henge built by the community for the community. So it had been commissioned by Revolution Arts as an arts project to create awareness that we had this sacred site next
yeah,
to it. And
yeah,
an artist, Matthew Rosier, just came in with the idea to build a henge. And I was like, oh my God. So a few months later, I was commissioned to do some drumming to open the henge. And I was a
yeah,
bit, and then someone in Revolut said, what would you really like to do on this henge? And I was like, well, I'd like to bring Awaken here.
yeah,
And then now, so March the 8th, I'm doing my first bit. I've actually rewritten Awaken to respond to that land, to the
yeah,
henge that it's on.
yeah,
And so, because there's a part in the play that was out in the woods, out in nature,
yeah, yeah,
when she escapes. And so I rewrote it around being in that space in the stones. And I cannot tell you how much it feels like an old karmic justice to put the old healer woman, the soul that was killed as a witch in one lifetime, back into a henge space and tell a story from there. Because you're right, the bards, the shamans, the oracle priestesses, whatever you want to name our ancestry that were the storytellers, told it on the land. And I'm
yeah.
pretty sure they chose the land that they stood on, to go, here's the sacred sites. Let's tell you these stories and have these activations. So the fact that I get to do that is just a bit like, whoa, it's
Yeah,
starting to
yeah,
happen. And because 5D theatre wants to be about the difference, not just go, should we plonk it on in this theatre?
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
more
yeah.
like, what does the land want? Okay, it wants this story. Okay, now what's it like for the people in the space being told this story? What does it give to it? And through doing this reading, I want to respond to the people. It's actually on International Women's Day, which is why it's on the 8th, because
Yeah.
thousands and thousands of women were killed as witches. So it felt like we should honor that totally, but also to bring in people and respond to the story and then help me for the next stage of the story so that I'm constantly not only listening to the land, but listening to the people that are engaging with the story. And so,
Beautiful.
yeah, very
It's
excited to be
it's
doing
a
this.
it's a beautiful how these things can like how these things can sort of grow. I went to a concert recently, a music concert in Ipswich with a guy called Tommy Emmanuel. He's
Right.
Australian. He's 70 years old. You cannot believe that someone who is 70 has got this much energy
Mm.
and can play the guitar so well, right? He's world renowned. And he's from Australia and he grew up in Alice Springs. And he said, we would play concerts to the old folk. That was mainly the people that we would play to. And he said, and I wrote this song about an initiation ceremony that I wasn't allowed to go to because as a white man, there's certain of their ceremonies he's not welcome. Fair enough. But he wrote this song, tuning, connecting to the ceremony, right? Anyway, so it's just literally one man and a guitar, and
Yeah.
he's making all these sounds like, like all the indigenous sounds of all their
Yeah.
instruments just on a guitar. I mean, and the music was just like absolute mind blower. So I've just come back from Glastonbury where I was the chef for Juliet's Sacred Cacao training retreat, right?
Wow.
So it was we were there for 3 days, 3 nights, and they're doing this ceremony which I'm not welcome to because it was, I'm there, it's their sort of goddesses, they're doing their thing, right? And I'm doing the food. So just I felt like Tommy Emmanuel. So I grabbed my guitar and just start doing this song, right? So this
Wow.
song came, this Mother Cacao song came, beautiful. I mean, hardly in the scale of Tommy Emmanuel's initiation song, but I got clearly skill, but in my own way. And I did this song, and then I had dinner to do that evening. So I said to the goddesses, I said, goddesses, I said, you this evening we've got a 6 course meal. So they're all like, a bit excited, but a little bit like, oh, blimey. I said, the first 5 courses you're going to eat. Okay. Then the final one, you're not going to, you won't eat with your mouth. So they were thinking, well, what is it? And so then for the 6th course, I get my guitar out and we sing. And it was literally within 20 seconds, they're all singing. They're all singing. And a lot of these people have only just met, they've not been there long. They were all singing. Everyone was singing. And it was like you're talking about this feedback. I said, well, when I record it, whoever wants to be part of the recording, come to the studio and we'll all sing it. And then I had a thought, because cacao's a big thing now, right? People are, so many people have their own things. And we know lots of these people. If we're friends with lots of people who've got these cacao companies. So what I'm going to do is record a version of it and then invite all of these people to sing on it. All these
Nice.
people who are promoting the healing power of cacao and get them all involved. So you've got that loop like you're talking about. And then it's so much more powerful
Yeah.
than if it's just me and,
Yes, this reminds me of when my sister said, so when I was first trying to get funding for Awaken in 2022, I couldn't get funding. It was like the fourth round. And I said to my sister said, you must be missing something. What do you think it is? And we looked up and there was a bird going in the sky. And then she went, look up again. And there was a whole flock of them. And she was like, that's what it is. It's like that Schindler's List moment when you go, it's not just about you, this affects everyone. And she said, you just got to make it, make it, it's way beyond you. It's
sure,
everyone that's
sure.
been affected by this witch wound, this
Yeah,
persecution of women as healers, or anybody that's affected by spiritual persecution or not being able to be their true spirit. And she was like, look, that's how big it was. And
yeah.
that moment changed because it's the
Wow.
moment we look beyond us and go, oh, this is all of us. And, every little voice that adds to your song, every little voice and person and energy adds to my story.
Mhm.
And I remember when I went to Beacon Arts, finally got the funding.
Yeah,
I'd said to someone, my dream is that somebody will have a soul awakening in that audience and they'll think, that witch you named, because I named many,
yeah,
was who killed, that was me killed in a past life, because I speak openly that that happened to me.
yeah,
And what do you know? A couple of months later, this woman approached me that came to it, said, that witch that you named, I think that was me in a past life. And I was a bit like,
yeah,
wow. And she was like, and I'm coming back to myself and I'm going to do shamanic circles and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And what's lovely about that, and my legs are tingling,
yeah. Me
is that
too.
what was cut off in those lifetimes was healers, people
Yeah,
that were working with the elements, working with medicine, very pure herbal medicine. I
yeah,
might
yeah,
Julia being a great one to speak of, Juliet. And all of those gifts, all of those, working with spirit, being psychic wasn't so fearful as it happened afterwards. Don't work with spirits, you're working with the devil. Actually, no, I can spy what the devil is. Thank you very much. But all of that was culled.
Yeah.
And what happens now by bringing this awakening through the play and through those activations is like, go on, go and be the witch that they killed back then. Go on, go be her, him. Go and do it. Go and
Yeah.
sing to the ley lines. Go
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
use your herbs.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
and speak to spirits. Whatever it was that felt so dangerous back then because you were told it was dangerous and you could lose your life, and many did. Now do it. Now be it. And that's kind of the movement and the soul activation that I've seen already that
Yeah.
keep going, people. Like,
I mean, we're talking about it, and it's like it's literally pumping out, and
yeah,
it's literally happening.
yeah.
Before we got on air, I said to you, I've just had one of the best weekends of my life, and you said I've just had one of the best weekends of my life, and I think that there's probably other people out there who are doing whatever they're doing, and it is this great awakening. Look, kind of sounders, I want you to go to 5dtheatre.co.uk. That is the number 5 and the letter D, 5dtheatre.co.uk. Sign up for Cheryl's newsletter. She does create one of the best newsletters out there, quite frankly. And I send out 3 a month for various sort of
You're
projects that I'm involved in. So I'm quite good at newsletters. Your one is great. So sign up for it, because it's not just this past weekend, and it's not just, is it the 8th?
the 8th of March, which is on the community page, still
Yeah,
the Little Henge. Yes, there is quite a bit more coming. That
exactly.
two of them I can't quite speak about, but
Yep,
funding's
yep.
just been secured. It's a very exciting year for spiritual plays and site responsive work.
And the best way to keep connected, and of course on if you go to the website, click on follow Cheryl on her socials, and also, like I say, that newsletter, because it's a wonderful thing to, then you just get things dropping in, and you're
Mm.
like, this is going on, this is going on, this is going on. So on the 8th, I would be with you in Luton, but I'm going to be with our old friend David Icke, who's doing his
Oh,
tour, the Roadmap
nice.
tour. Yes, and he's coming to Colchester, which is, about an hour from me. But
Yeah,
in East Anglia, he's coming to talk about the roadmap, uh, out of the maze of madness, I think he calls it, or something. So it's
nice. Well,
obviously a spiritual energy. So we'll be sending you the vibes,
yeah,
right?
yeah. I will be happily feeling into the energy of David Icke for my landmark. So, of all places to be, go be with Ike.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. So, Cheryl, final words from you, my dear, for the kind of sounders out there.
Yeah, I think the important thing is, as we both had amazing weekends and the energy's high, it was the 20th of February. I didn't know I planned my to fit in with that date, but we're in this brand new, this fiery energy, this activation, this power. It's like, the veil was closing down before. Now it's like it's gone. The curtains are open, and the curtains are open to the divine. So, the sun has come out today here for the first time in a long time. It's come out for you. It's kind of one of those things that is like keep shifting your energy into the hope and the dreaming, and like putting those things in place as you see. And we're going to have a tough year for it. We are going to have a year of like, oh my God, could it get worse?
Yeah.
Most of us go, well, we've already been, we know how bad it gets. But that is like for spiritual people, people that are tapping in, really work on your energy of hope, because we are creator beings. And I remind myself that I've fallen down a lot, but we are creating this new thing. So keep coming with your solutions, because we all need to right, plant those new seeds everywhere. And I can't wait to engage with what is rising around me. I'll do my theatre, you do you, and invite me along and let me come and witness it too.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Well, Cheryl, it's been so lovely to connect once more and to send out the vibes, send out the messages. It is 5dtheatre.co.uk. And do please check out our other chats that we've done, and also the other fantastic content on Kind of Sound as well, which you can listen to on your favorite podcast provider, or even if you're watching this here on YouTube. Thank you, Cheryl. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I look forward to singing with you soon Singing
Yes.
with you soon on those ley lines, girl. Let's do it.
Yeah,
Take
let's
care.
do it. Nice. Thank you.